Okay, so Yeeps Horror, where do I even start? Let's just talk about the map revamps. I think they look pretty good. There's not really much to say about them. They just put a couple gnomes here and there, and like made some pumpkins and colored things for the fall. So yeah, not much to comment on there. It's pretty cool. But the horror mode itself, oh man, I gotta say, for a little bit there, it's pretty fun. It is still fun, but you know the jump scares, they don't stay scary, which is unfortunate. But that's how it is for every scary thing. But yeah, no, it's pretty fun to replay, especially with friends, in public lobbies. I don't really have much to say there. It's less difficult than playing in a private. And let's see, what else do I say about the update? Yeah, the bundle. I think it's pretty cool. I do think they could have done better. It's clearly supposed to be a Ghostbuster, don't get me wrong. But the logos on the sleeves could have at least had like that little no symbol or something, because there's not really any, like, you can tell that it's a Ghostbuster, but there's no semblance of it. And I understand they don't want to get sued, but because there's not much, semblance of the Ghostbusters there, I think the bundle just comes out looking a bit unfinished. Also, I think the bundle is kind of ugly. I don't know, the glasses are really oversized. The hat is fine. The hat looks cool. The back item is decent. And then the, torso and arm parts, I don't really like those. They're just kind of bulky. And then as for the bundle item, it's pretty cool, akin to Technosters, but it's not pay to win. Because, you can still press your ear up to mimic doors and closets and hear them breathing. So it's not like if you buy the bundle, you get an advantage. Now let's see, what else can I talk about before getting to the main subject of the video? The items we get on the Halloween Tech Web, those are pretty cool. I like the creative blocks. The gadgets that, aren't recycled from last year are pretty fun. How many of those? Like 1 or 2? I don't know. I've got to say, the first half does suck for people who played, the Halloween in the first year. Because, like, we get practically nothing new gadgets-wise. Hopefully they fix that with the next half of the Halloween Tech Web. My theory is that for the first part, they want to get all the creative blocks out of the way so they could have people create cool maps for the whole month. And then on the 16th, they would release a bunch of gadgets. So then, we could mess around with those. That's just my theory, though. I really hope I'm right, because I love gadgets. And then the Halloween cosmetics, mostly recycled from last year, but the new ones we got are really cool. I like the clown with the lips with really sharp teeth. It's really fun to mess around with and put it in like the Devon hat or wolf mask. The zippers are pretty nice. Hats are pretty nice. There's not much to say there. Okay, let's see, what else can I talk about? What else can I talk about? Flashlights are pretty cool. Okay, I gotta stop putting it off. We gotta talk about the pricing.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Okay, so the pricing, what an absolute mess. Let's start with last year's Halloween event, alright? Basically how last year worked is on the Halloween Tech Web, an item would release every day for 200 buck coins. So you kind of get into this rhythm of hopping on Yeeps, claiming your daily streak, doing your daily quests, and then buying the Halloween item, and then messing around with it for the rest of the day. And I think that's pretty fun, nothing was overpriced. If you missed a few days, Trash was getting their money because people would buy butt coins so they could catch up with everyone else. But this year, oh man, Yeepflation really is real. It is. I mean, everything still is 200 buck coins, don't get me wrong. And then in your mind you go, oh man, 200 buck coins, that's so cheap. And then you look at how long the lines are, and then you're like, oh, that's not cheap. So every row in total costs 3,200 buck coins. That's 200 times 16, because that's how many items there are on each row. So then 3,200 buck coins times 10, because that's how many rows there are gonna be in total. 32,000 buck coins. That's so much. The fact that we're expecting to get like 32,000 buck coins in a month. What are we gonna do? Like log in every day, blah blah blah, do everything? It is just, I don't know if we can get that many in a month. I really don't know. But Collision, just buy only the limited time items. I mean, those are the only things that matter. Yeah, okay. Those are still 900 buck coins in total for one row. And then in total, at the end of the event, all limited time rows will be 9,000 buck coins. That's still a lot. Like, why? Genuinely, why? And I understand You might be saying, Collision, you're ungrateful. Everything's 200 buck coins. But just, oh my god, I don't think I will be able to afford most things from the update at the end of the event. And I think that goes for, most people actually. So you know what? Here's my solution for how this whole pricing ordeal could have been avoided. So I think Trask should have put buckcoin stashes in every horror level. And there would be enough buckcoin stashes in each level to give you the exact amount of buckcoins you need to finish the entire corresponding track on the Halloween tech web, if you understand what I'm saying. So then, you'd complete the horror levels, and then it would also encourage backtracking and exploring the levels further to go find all the buckcoin stashes. And then you'd feel rewarded because you could afford the whole row. And also, that would just be fair for players, in my opinion. But you might be asking, Collision, how would Trask make money then? Cosmetics. The Halloween cosmetics are really cool. And yeah, I'd say they're a bit expensive, but I don't really mind that, because then, if we were to implement the system I came up with, people would still want to buy cosmetics and spend their money on that. So, they'd buy the bundle for $30, spend 10k on cosmetics. And then if they want more cosmetics beyond what they initially bought, well, they'll buy more buck coins, and therefore Trask makes more money. I also believe the system would be very beneficial for new players because they don't have any buck coins and they don't really understand much. But if they go into a horror level, people will teach them where the buck coin stashes are, and they'll start to catch on and be able to afford, the lines on the Halloween tech web. Then once they get stuff from there, they mess around with their gadgets, build around a creative, and they start to like Yeeps. So from then on, they're a Yeeps player, playing the game nearly every day. So, that's just my solution to the pricing. And you might be thinking that it's too late to fix these, but it's not. We still have a whole half a tech web to finish unlocking on the 16th. So, Trask could implement the system and try and turn around the event. Well, that's going to be the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you like my opinions and think Trask should do this for, pricing, spread this video around the Discord, share it with your friends, anything to get it seen by Trask. And yeah, goodbye.
I shitted in my pants. I am for real. Never meant to make my booty shit. I apologize, I shit my pants.